it's terrifying.
Hayden Panettiere just shared an absolutely terrifying story and proves once again just how up Hollywood could truly be. Hayden was recently on the Jay Shetty podcast to promote her new memoir, where she talked about a story that happened to her at the age of 18, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty terrifying. Essentially, the gist of the story is that Hayden was in the middle of the ocean on someone's boat, and was escorted by someone she trusted to a bedroom. When she got to said bedroom, she was thrown on the bed to where a naked man had his hands behind his head, waiting for her to perform certain acts on him. She also goes on to say in the interview that this person was a very, very famous individual. And she simply went on to say it was terrifying because she was in the middle of the ocean on someone's boat and had nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. Here is a part of that said interview where she describes her interaction with that individual.
I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise.
She does go on to say at the end of talking about this interaction that she was able to get away and hide in a nearby room on the boat. But geez, man.
I had been crying once people figured out that I could cry on cue the way that I did. It was in everything, literally every scene, and it went from being a kid and having to imagine just that your pet passed away or something. But then as I got older, the imagery became darker and darker and darker, and the emotion that I had to hold within me in order to get those trigger tears going, and it became harder and harder.
Yes, when something happened, this is exactly what you will see on social media. A lot of people have things to say about this lady. There are videos I've seen which I'm going to show you what exactly is going on. At some point, I was confused, like, what is happening here? Everybody is having an opinion. Some says this lady actually had a bombshell interviews 3 months ago where she exposed Hollywood elite. At some point, maybe they're after her life. That is concerning, right? Because if you watch that interview, she said something. She was inside the boat, and in the middle of the sea, something happened. She realized someone very powerful that she has always looked up to did something to her. That is where people are actually tilting their attention after she passed away.
You write about a moment in your career where a friend of yours takes you onto a boat. You're led to a room which has an older man in it, and then basically told to perform sexual acts and,
Oh yeah. Perspective completely shifted, and I realized that I was in danger. But by the time I'd realized I was in danger, I was quite literally out to sea. And it was that moment shook me and was shocking. And I was quite literally walked down, and I had been having a great time. There was no hints of anything like that happening. So it took me, I was shocked. It took me by surprise. And it was led by somebody that I had grown to trust and see as a protector and somebody who had my back. And to be walked down, down the stairs, and it was as like a surprise, presented as though it was like a surprise, and it was this very small room, and she physically put me in the bed next to this undressed man who was very famous, and had his hands like this, like.
Yes, let me say this before we proceed. I'm pleading. When something happens, don't just rush on social media to consume. Get the news. Wait for the facts. I saw this. I did not want to put out videos because I wanted to know the facts. But if you go around social media, TikTok, everywhere, you will see all sorts of things about this lady.
That lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted, and I hid, and I bolted, and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. On a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to. I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
It is all of them. All of them. And not one will be able to escape.
Public place, you did it.
The best?
Okay, the best? Probably the Obama thing.
New details are emerging in the passing of actress Hayden, 36, according to 9/11 dispatch audio. Emergency crew responded to a Greenville, South Carolina apartment for what would describe as a suspected OD, induced cardiac, with CPR already underway. Best known for Heroes and Nashville, later passed. Her father confirmed her passing, calling her an incredible light and a force of nature. Even the parent not saying something contrary to this. But if you go on social media, you realize people now saying things that, I don't know. When something happens, it's always good to wait for information to surface before you start spreading this kind of info. I saw this news a few hours ago. I did not want to report because I wanted to know the truth.
It was a very therapeutic experience. I've been writing it for about 2 years, and it's terrifying all at the same time. I mean, I put it all out there. I was like, if I'm going to do this,
And emergency medical service workers responded to a call about a person in cardiac arrest and an unresponsive female. And law enforcement sources told TMZ Hayden's friend called 911 at 1:51 p.m. Sunday to report that the actress was unresponsive and in cardiac arrest inside the residence in Greenville, South Carolina. And in the 911 dispatch audio obtained by TMZ, you hear responders sending medics to her location to perform CPR on someone who OD'd. It's unclear if Hayden's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, placed the call. Greenville police officers and EMS workers quickly responded, and paramedics attempted to resuscitate Hayden using advanced cardiac life support. Our sources say this treatment builds on CPR by adding special medicines, breathing tubes, and heart rhythm tracking. And in this photo, you can see a fire truck and multiple ambulances outside the South Carolina residence where Hayden was found unresponsive.
Yes, I believe that is actually the truth, what we are finding out. And if you see a lot of people attributing her passing to something else that I don't know, I was just reporting so you can see exactly what people are saying on social media versus the truth. We are still to find out. I will continue to update you on what is going on exactly. So please share the video, and if possible, hit up the highly recommended clips on this channel. I saw the short clips at the end. That's what I got. You can always skip.
Much she enjoys celebrating. She took it well. She said she just wants to spend more time with her husband, the Grinch. Be happy that the crazy lady.
Thing is, can you?
Quick question: if you're here tonight,
Whatever it is
Well, I bring it
zero to
up
do with
because
me.
it sounds.
Explain what happens when people know.
they were
there was
releasing how much 40 years old that the sun and the moon were not the same thing.
Us wants to know the strangest part of going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
wow.
Dust Blossom turned into this fabulous actress.
Sunny from The View. I am so sick of you and Whoopi.
Don't do it. We will be okay if you.
Diversity for diversity's sake being crammed down our throats.
The Hunger Games.
Loves to work. It's, you know, I had a group of guys, you know.
Is and of that you.
All eyes on California
People. And so this is my.
Antinous. Odysseus.
Telemachus. This clip of Elliot Page is going to be what takes the Odyssey movie.
Thank you guys. I'm called Ransom. That is my real name. Please hit the videos always. I'm always there to update you on